Max Verstappen has again dropped another broad hint that he could retire from F1 when his current contract with Red Bull expires. Verstappen's occasional disenchantment with Formula One in recent times has led to questions being posed to the three-time champion as to what could happen post-2028, as just 3 years remain on his agreement. The 27-year-old has never ducked the issue, particularly as he has become frustrated with the growing expansion of the calendar to 24 races and 6 sprints, the latter of which he has never had time for. Add in the most recent furores surrounding his use of the F-word in an official FIA press conference and his racing incidents with title rival Lando Norris that drew into the spotlight the art of racing, then it is no wonder Verstappen has doubts, particularly as he wants to savor other motorsports. "At the moment I have a contract until 2028, he said, speaking to Road and Track. "I'll be 31 years old at the end of it. Of course that is still very young, but I started when I was 17. That's a long time in Formula One. For me, it depends on how the new cars will be to drive from 26 onwards. Are they enjoyable to drive? The amount of races? How much you're away from home? It's demanding. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're very successful or not. For me, that doesn't matter. Of course, we've already won a lot in Formula One. For me, it's not that I have to stick around and try to prove myself. I don't have this desire to win 8 or 9 titles. I'm very open-minded at the moment. I'm like, let's just see, wait until the real car is there, how it drives, and go from there. It's not just about the driving experience, it's the whole package, how it comes together. I'm not really stressed about my future. I want to enjoy it, and of course I want to do well. I want to win. It's also about enjoying what you're doing." Despite the recent uproar on topics, Verstappen insists he is happy with what he is doing in F1, but as a pure motorsport enthusiast, he also has a wandering eye and can see the lure of competing in other series. "I also want to do other stuff, and at one point I also want to do fewer races," he said. Naturally, when you do an endurance championship, it is a little bit less. The one race Le Mans is more intense, being 24 hours, but you do have more free time. You can plan your schedule a bit more. For most of the year, every week you know exactly what you're doing. It's maybe a bit more relaxed, and you can maybe enjoy a bit more life outside of racing. The Daytona 24 Hours is another event on Verstappen's radar. But like Le Mans, the F1 schedule means it is impossible to attempt a crack at either. After sampling an Acura ARX-06 this week that runs in the GTP class, Verstappen knows his interest in Daytona has been piqued again. "It's not about teasing a 2025 start in Daytona or whatever," he said, following his run. "I know I want to do it in the future anyway. It's just finding the time. Worries. With such a busy F1 schedule, it's almost impossible because we finish so late in the season. To properly prepare before you head to Daytona, it's pretty impossible. I know that when I want to do it, I want to go there and try to win it, be really competitive. The only way to do so is by doing some proper testing and getting really well prepared. Which is not possible at the moment, but who knows, maybe in a few years' time, I'll still be young-ish, and I'll still be able to drive the cars." Red Bull's performance took a hit mid-season and is currently performing subpar compared to their dominance in the past 2 seasons. Heading into the US GP, RBR has lost the lead in the Constructors' Championship to McLaren. However, Max Verstappen is still sitting at the top of the drivers' standings. The team witnessed a ray of hope heading into Austin as Verstappen set himself on pole position for the sprint race. "We had a good day," Verstappen said. "Of course, sprint qualifying is always very difficult. With the tires you do medium, and then a soft. You never really know how much you can push, but I'm happy with today. I think all day the car was working quite well, and of course I'm very happy to be first. It's been a while, so very pleased with today." George Russell held provisional pole position, but Verstappen, 27, despite not being the fastest in any individual sector at COTA, managed to secure pole position by a mere 0.012 seconds thanks to his overall average speed. A Red Bull engineer recently revealed a clutch issue with Max Verstappen during a race earlier this season. This could have potentially led the Dutchman to a second retirement. The RB20 has been extremely reliable this season. Although there was a moment during the Australian Grand Prix when Verstappen retired early, that was his only DNF. However, there was a small incident during another race that could have added another DNF to the Dutchman's race results this season. Red Bull engineer Michael Manning recently said that their number 1 car that Verstappen pilots suffered a sensor issue during a race. While he did not reveal what race it was, he mentioned that the issue was major and had to be solved within a lap, without which the car would have been retired. "There was a sensor problem with the clutch, and we had to understand very quickly, within a lap, what the problem was and fix it," Manning told The Telegraph. "If we hadn't, the clutch would have broken and Max would have retired," he added. He explained that Verstappen had to switch off that particular sensor to keep the car running, further discussing the reliability of the current generation of F1 cars. People at home might hear race engineer Giampiero Lambiase say something like, "Fail 16 or fail 20 from time to time." That is something Max has to do on his steering wheel, and in this case, it involved turning off that sensor, and it worked, Manning said. Today's cars are very reliable, but this is an example that you always have to keep monitoring everything, he said in conclusion. So, the RB20 has been extremely reliable this season. What you think about? For Verstappen drops bombshell on F1 after shocking retirement threat? Like and comments below.